Messi was walking across a busy street in Argentina. He kept his head down, trying not to get noticed. People always recognized him, even when he wore a cap to hide his face. Wherever he went, someone always asked for a picture, an autograph, or even money. But this time, something was different. "Hey kid, can you give me some money?" Messi stopped and turned. An old woman, wrapped in a thin blanket, was looking at him with a big smile, even though she had no teeth. "I need to take a bus to see the ocean," she said. Messi blinked. It wasn't strange for someone to ask for money, but her reason was surprising. "Why do you want to see the ocean?" he asked. The old woman shrugged. "I haven't seen it in 50 years and I don't have much time left." Messi felt something strange in his heart. He could just give her the money and walk away, but something about her words made him stop. "What's your name?" he asked. "Elena," she answered. Messi reached into his pocket and took out a big bill. "Here, take this." Elena took the money but frowned. "Kid, I only asked for a little." Messi smiled. "Buy yourself something to eat too." Elena looked at the bill for a moment, then smiled and put it in her coat pocket. "Thank you, kid. May God bless you." Messi nodded and walked away. But her words stayed in his mind. 50 years without seeing the ocean. That night, Messi was lying in bed next to his wife, Antonella. He was looking at his phone, but he wasn't really paying attention. "What's wrong?" Antonella asked. He hesitated before answering. "Today, an old woman asked me for money to go to Mar del Plata." "To see the ocean?" Antonella asked. "She said she hasn't seen it in 50 years and doesn't have much time left." Antonella thought for a moment. "Maybe she really doesn't." Messi put his phone down. "I should take her." Antonella laughed. But when she saw Messi's serious face, she stopped. "Are you serious?" He nodded. "Why not? It's just one day. It's no big deal." Antonella crossed her arms. "Because you're Messi. You can't just take a stranger to the beach without the whole world finding out." Messi didn't say anything. He knew she was right. But he didn't care. "She just wants to see the ocean, Anto." Antonella sighed. "And you really want to do this?" Messi didn't answer, but she already knew. The next day he went back to the same place, but Elena was gone. He looked everywhere, but she wasn't there. "Damn it," he muttered. He thought about asking the street vendors, but he didn't want people to recognize him. Instead, he called his friend Tommy, a journalist. "Hey, I need a favor," Messi said. "What now, shorty?" Tommy jokes. "I met an old woman named Elena on the street. She's homeless. I need to find her." There was silence. "Messi, are you okay?" Tommy asked. "I'm serious." "All right, I'll ask around. But why are you looking for her?" Messi hesitated. "I want to take her to see the ocean." Tommy laughed. "You're too nice, man. I'll call you when I find her." 15 minutes later, Tommy called back. "She's at Plaza Congreso." Messi took a taxi to the plaza. He found Elena sitting on the ground, hugging her knees. She looked tired. "Elena," he said. She looked up. "Oh, kid. Didn't think you'd come back." Messi crouched down. "I looked for you yesterday." "What happened?" "The police kicked us out. They said we were bothering the tourists." Messi clenched his jaw. "Have you eaten today?" Elena laughed. "I ate the wind." Messi stood up. "Let's go." "Where?" she asked. "To eat." "If you want to give me charity, just hand me the money," she said. Messi crossed his arms. "I don't want to give you charity. I want to talk." Elena sighed. "Fine. But I'm wearing flip-flops." They went to a small restaurant. She ordered a big plate of food and a glass of cheap wine. After a few bites, Messi asked, "Why do you want to see the ocean so much?" She chewed slowly. "My husband died a long time ago. I promised him I'd go back to Mar del Plata and scatter his ashes in the sea." Messi stayed quiet. "But life got hard," Elena continued. "I had no money, no one left. Now, I just want to keep my promise." Messi looked at her. "I'll take you." Elena put down her fork. "Stop joking. I'm serious." "Why?" she asked. Messi thought for a moment. "Because I can." Elena laughed, but her eyes filled with tears. "All right, shorty. Let's go see the ocean." Messi arranged everything for the trip. The next morning, he met Elena with a bag of new clothes. "Take this. It's cold at night." Elena frowned. "I don't take charity." Messi sighed. "It's just a coat." She grabbed the bag. "New, huh? Fancy. If you want to go in old sandals, go ahead," Messi teased. She sighed. "Fine. But no funny business." They got into a car. As they drove, Messi saw Elena playing with a crumpled piece of paper. "What's that?" he asked. She hesitated. "Nothing." "What thing?" She sighed. I have a son in Mar del Plata. Messi's eyes widened. You said you had no one left. She laughed bitterly. Almost true. I haven't seen him in 23 years. Messi didn't know what to say. But if I'm going there, she continued, I need to know if he still remembers me. Messi realized this trip wasn't just about the ocean. It was about the past too. The car broke down on the road. They had to wait for it to cool down. Elena saw a small bar nearby and smiled. Let's get a drink? Messi shrugged. Let's go. Inside, the bar smelled of grilled meat. Old posters of Boca Juniors covered the walls. A radio played soccer commentary in the background. What do you want to eat? Asked the waiter, his apron covered in stains. He didn't even look up. Bring a bottle of wine and some empanadas, Elena said right away. Messi raised his eyebrows. You know this place well? She shrugged. I've been to many bars in my life. The good ones all feel the same. The wine came first. It was strong and red, served in small glasses. Elena took a sip, closed her eyes, and sighed. Now this is real wine. Not that fancy stuff you rich players drink. Messi laughed. You talk like you know what I drink. I know you guys live in luxury. But you know what? The best things in life are the small things. Messi watched her. Most people spoke to him with respect, careful with their words. But Elena was different. She didn't want anything from him, just this moment. The empanadas arrived, hot and smelling delicious. Elena took a bite and smiled. Now this is real food. Messi smiled too and took one. As he chewed, he looked around. A group of men at another table glanced at him. One man squinted as if trying to make sure. Hey? One whispered. Messi knew what was about to happen. Messi? The man's eyes widened. He nudged his friend. In seconds, the whole bar was looking at them. People started whispering. Phones came out. It's Messi. Elena rolled her eyes and took another sip of wine. For heaven's sake, kid. Sign a napkin and let's go. Messi sighed. Soon, the internet would be full of pictures of him sitting in a small bar with an old woman. He needed to leave before things got out of hand. But when he looked at Elena, she seemed different. Not just annoyed, something else was in her eyes. Messi couldn't figure out what it was. The crowd got louder. Messi, let's take a picture. What's he doing here? People moved closer, holding up their phones. Messi pulled his cap down and stood up, trying to stay calm. We have to go. Elena took another bite of her empanada and sighed. All this fuss over a guy who just kicks a ball? Messi gave a tense smile. Let's go, Donna. She finished her wine, stood up, and said, make sure you leave a good tip. Waiters don't earn much. Messi dropped some money on the table and walked toward the door, feeling everyone's eyes on him. But before he could leave, a loud voice called out. Messi? He turned. A big man with gray hair and a round belly held up his phone, staring at Elena in shock. Donna Elena? Messi looked at her. She frowned, trying to remember. Do I know you? The man laughed. It's me, Rafa. You used to sew jerseys for our team when I was a kid. My dad always said no one stitched collars better than you. Elena's eyes shone, but she quickly looked away. That was a long time ago. The bar was filled with chatter. Messi and Donna Elena? Who is she? Messi's face felt hot. He had to get out. He grabbed Elena's arm and led her outside. Come on, Donna. She didn't resist. As soon as they reached the street, Messi looked both ways. Their driver waved from across the road. Run. Elena scoffed. You think I have young legs? Still, she moved quickly. They got in the car and slammed the doors. The driver took off before the crowd could follow. Messi let out a long sigh, leaning back. That was too close. Elena smiled. You can't even have a moment of peace, huh? Messi laughed, exhausted. Not at all. The car drove on, but something had changed. Elena stared out the window, biting her lip. Messi noticed. What's wrong? She didn't answer right away. Then she sighed. That man, Rafa, he remembered me. Messi frowned. And that bothers you? She shook her head. No. What bothers me is that maybe Julian remembers me too. The car kept moving. They were getting closer to Mar del Plata. But would Elena have the courage to face her past? The sun began to set, turning the sky orange and purple. Messi looked at her. Are you nervous? She let out a short laugh. I've slept on the streets, Messi. You think meeting my son scares me? Messi didn't answer. He just looked at her. She sighed. Okay, maybe a little. He nodded. Do you want to leave? She turned to him, annoyed. If I wanted to leave, I wouldn't be here. Messi smirked. Then let's do this. The driver stopped in front of a blue gate. The paint was peeling. This is it? Elena hesitated. Messi waited. Donna? She blinked. I'm fine. But she didn't look fine. She took a deep breath and walked to the gate. She raised her hand to knock, but stopped. What if he doesn't want to see me? Messi looked her in the eyes. There's only one way to know. She swallowed hard and knocked. Footsteps. The doorknob turned. A man appeared. His face filled with shock. Mama? Elena froze. Julian? The silence was heavy. 23 years, he said. And now you come back? She lowered her head. I didn't know if you wanted to see me. Julian clenched his fists. I searched for you, Mom. For years. Tears slid down her face. I thought you deserved a better life without me. Julian sighed. And now? Now, I needed to know if you still remembered me. He stared at her, torn between anger and love. Then he spoke. Do you want to come in? Elena blinked, surprised. Julian looked at Messi, then at his mom. Time doesn't come back. But before it's gone, let me know you again. Tears filled Elena's eyes, but this time they were happy ones. Messi smiled softly and stepped back. Thank you, Messi, Elena said. Messi nodded. I just played my part. The sun set, painting the sky gold. Messi later got a message from Julian. Messi, my mom passed away last night. She left peacefully. In her pocket we found a seashell. Thank you for bringing her home. Messi took a deep breath, feeling the weight of those words. Then he wrote the only thing that made sense. She finally came home. If you enjoyed this story, share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you think. Don't forget to subscribe for more amazing stories filled with adventure, mystery, and excitement. Your support means the world, and it helps keep these stories coming. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.